Next project, bring it on. Finally, a calm morning and a calm day. We last week had that big storm. I don't know if you remember, but I went to, in the previous video, went to take off some frames of drawn comb. That was the perfect day to do that. So I did that with Chris Campbell from Hive Show, who was over last week. He went back this Thursday. So it was amazing having him over because we got absolutely loads done. I felt as though I had to get off my backside and get motivated to get stuff done, which was really good because it was the push I needed. And I was really struggling because I think I picked up a bug. And I even had to have a couple of sleeps in the day, probably because I'm not used to doing so much different work. And we had to think about things. I'll show you what we're doing in a minute. But just to show you how things have changed here in literally 2 weeks after the storm. Look at this. This is some of my little bit of autumn colour that I get. This is Acer platanoides, a Norway maple. I absolutely love this one. See all these seeds? It's been a good year for pollination. But everything has suddenly turned from green to yellow. We're at the end of the season. Here's some ginkgo trees I love, which I planted years ago, and they're slowly growing. Finally getting away now, but literally we have gone from warm temperatures, as I say every year, about the first week in November, the temperatures drop. So we're only 8-9 degrees today. That's degrees C. I suppose that's in the 60s for you guys in America. But everything is fine. The bees are tucked up. Even the colonies that I didn't take the double brood boxes off are all good because there's actually one apiary that I can't get to, and that's what I was going to tell you as well. I'll show you the pictures now. The apiary is fine after the storm, but the actual trees that came down in the access roads to the apiary are massive, and there's no way I can get to them. Just to show you what trees are like down here. I can't get anywhere down here. This is my apiary is up there. You can see the hives in the distance, but there's a massive. This is all small stuff that could be cleared, and so could this bit here. But there's a huge tree down there behind, and there's like 3 trees in a row down there. So how I'm going to clear that to get to my apiary up there, I really don't know. I've got more chance of driving from the top somewhere and getting in, but there's no chance of that. So I don't know how we're going to do that. We've got to work out a way of clearing those. The problem is the people who own the land are of limited resources as well. So I think it's going to be down to me to go there with my chainsaw, but maybe I'll get a load of wood. But what we did last week, Chris, was this. We built the overhang for the bottom shed, which is going to be covered in a roof quite shortly by me, which is covered in a metal. We call it tôle here, or bac acier. It's like the finish of my building, so it's the same color, but it's like a very thin metal. It's not going to be insulated. It's just a roof, a rainproof roof, and this side is going to be covered in there, so the people anyone driving past the road can't see in, which is obviously logical to do. But the main thing is the structure is up. We managed to cobble together a kind of decent structure bolted to the wall here, which took some aligning, but at the end of the day it's solid. It's on feet that won't rust, and rather than paying 130 odd euros for 2 support posts, we put 2 together. And obviously this side we've cut out because that is the support beam that takes the cross piece. So it's my simple carpentry, you know. It's pretty basic stuff, but it was really funny because we were both mentally exhausted after the day, or the 2 or 3 days we've done it, because we're all going all the time, measure twice, cut once, but we ended up measuring about 30 times just in case we screwed it up. Because the problem with it all these days is it's not like you can like just go and buy another load of wood. The wood is so expensive, and I bought this wood like 4 years ago for another project which didn't get done. It was actually supposed to be the roof in here, but the guy who was going to do it's one of those awkward ones. It just didn't work out, and we agreed on a finished price. So we got a new roof put on this thing, but on the existing building, so it's all been reslated and redone, but the inside wasn't finished. So I had all this wood. So long story short, we made use of it, done it for free, and now I'm just waiting to finish it off. But it won't be for a couple of days. I think later this week we've got a little bit better weather. Got another storm coming in tonight, but it's not that strong. It's mostly rain. So I feel we've really progressed early this year. My son Thomas has been a massive help. He has been doing loads of work. We're going to start all these hedges today. All that's got to be cut for the year. We're going to get it all done early, so now I can concentrate on the building, inside the building. So there's all these little things we're doing now that are, have always been in my drive to get done. And I think that's what you need. You need to just harness your drive and just get on with it. As much as it's exhausting, you just got to keep pushing and pushing and pushing, and suddenly the job's getting knocked out. Just getting this done has given me such a massive boost. I'm also going to finish around the gable end up there and down here with slates, because we do that in Brittany. It makes the building look nice, but it's a perfect opportunity to do it while I've got a new floor. I can put some ply on there, stand on there, and do a really nice job with the slate cutters, shape some pieces of slate, and they'll go up that piece there and up that one there like that, and they go up the other side, and in the middle they culminate, and that's where you'll have like it'll all be protected against the rain. So I've also got 40 supers to collect that are up the road still, but these are in. Most of my supers are here. There's plenty of supers here for next year, although they will almost all go out. There's a big pile and it goes right up high. Over 200 there, believe it or not. And now we have room, because these last two beams are going to get used. And this part of the shed that I've been thinking I want to get cleared for ages is also done. We've also had a big clear out inside the shed here, so it's all kind of tidy a bit, so at least I can get to everything. The Mini Plus are all on pallets. They're all stacked, ready to go when I find a buyer. I haven't even advertised it yet, haven't had the time, but that is done. So I can now advertise that, and all my eeks that are going to come back from the nuke yard and all that are going to be stacked in here off the ground, and they'll be out the rain for the winter, which is brilliant. It's funny how the knock-on effect of having really great storage soon becomes apparent when you start to really tidy through your gear and you shell out what you don't need. It's funny, there's other things also I had for the Mini Plus. You might remember I had some cardboard cutouts of that material we use. We call it anti-Keller, so I could put a Mini Plus on top of a hive and a Mini Plus on top of a nuke. Like I had like 3 boxes of those in here, which I'm never going to use again now, which have gone. They've been burnt because it's pointless keeping them. But all little things like that you, when you scale down on something, you actually have more space to rejiggle things around. And I think in life we're all hoarders by nature. But when you start to get rid of stuff, you think I have this kind of rule, and it's like, am I going to use it in the next year? If I can't sell it, it gets dumped. That you just have to be that ruthless. There's absolutely no point in keeping equipment that you're never ever going to use. It's all very well being romantic and going, well, you never know, one day I might start doing that again. If you do that, buy new equipment then and move on, because it will deteriorate over the time. It won't be looked after. Get rid of it. And that's why I've decided to get rid of the Mini Plus. Not being used properly either. Another thing out the way. So I'll show you something else that I made a mad purchase on, and we're going to have a look at that in the honey house. So I am one of these people that can't resist looking for a bargain, and I wanted some big tanks to do other things with and leave my options open. As time progresses, the most important thing I wanted was to be able to mix sugar and water to make syrup. And I made this kind of purchase. It's probably a bit outrageous. It's probably, maybe I don't know if it's going to work, but I bought these 2 tanks. So these are 2 milk tanks. They're old. Alpha Laval was the original make, but they are in absolutely brilliant condition inside. They have nice lids on. They all need work. They all need cleaning up. But I got these for $100 each, and they've got taps. This one has even got a DIN 40mm fitting on. So I went and picked them up with Chris the other day, and we've offloaded them onto a pallet. I've even got some feet for them, but what I'm going to do is the base is I'm going to take the roof off. All that's going to be cleaned up and repolished. I think this is aluminium, so it's going to need to be repainted. That's fine. I can do all that. But they're in good condition. They're not leaking. They used to be used for refrigeration. You can see the old workings inside. And what I'm hoping to do is take the base off, remove the refrigeration equipment to a point so I can get some warming cables to go underneath. Because what I want to do is use this, well, use one of them for mixing sugar syrup, which would be permanently for that. And I want to use the other one, which is over here, which was even bigger. I want to use the other one, this is the 600 litre one, for maybe mead production, okay? Because inside here, there is it's a fiberglass, like a fiberglass bung, okay? And what happens is there's an inner tube that goes around the outside of here, and on the one underneath fits this one here fits the one over there. And what you do is you put your liquid in if you're making cider, if you're making mead. You inflate the inner tube, which goes around the outside here. I'm not sure if you can see that. That's one of the tubes there. And it seals, hermetically seals the top so you can use it to make other things. It's just a thought I have. Maybe I'm being a little bit over romantic, but I think there's a big demand for mead. It's a great product. We are going to be able to make a lot of it here because I have a lot of honey that I can use for mead. As you know, a very small amount of your selected honey can equate to a very large amount of mead. So I'm really interested to try that. I've got to look into all the laws of licensing and liquor agreements over here. I think the law is over here that you can make as much as you want providing you don't sell it. And when you do sell it, you can declare it after. It's a little bit more relaxed over here. So anyway, even if it's just for mixing sugar syrup, I can now mix my own one-to-one with my own sugar. I know sugar's gone up. I know it's going to cost me a little bit more probably than buying it in bulk. But I really don't like buying bulk sugar at the moment because for me, it's very difficult to transport it. And when I mean bulk liquid sugar. In other words, in the totes. For me, it's difficult to transport. You either go to the extent of getting even more containers and getting a huge delivery that will last you 3 or 4 years, or you just buy a small amount. And when you buy a small amount, I then got to offload it into the truck, and I can only take 2 totes on the truck at any one time, and then I've got to come and offload them here, which is nearly not a problem because that's going to be fixed soon. But having my own capability to mix my own things in my own tanks will bring a lot more flexibility in my sugar feeding, because I really want to feed a 1-to-1 most of the year and go to 2-to-1 later in the year. It's proven, it works. It's much better for your bees overall to get away from the high fructose syrups if you can. That's what I feel anyway. That's what I'm picking up. So I was talking about pallet handling. These 2 bays, that one there and that one there, and a small rack there and another pallet bay here. This is what's going to go here now. I've just ordered it today. Or yesterday, I've got some proper staging coming that's going to fill those 2 bays. There's a company I found, and I've got a couple of quotes from a couple of people, but this company are going to supply me second-hand pallet racking. I'm going to have 3 stages there, which will go right up to just underneath that beam, and then there's obviously more on the top beam. So 3 pallets high can go on there. It's proper racking, and so those 2 bays, that one and that one, will be filled with that. And this section here will have a single pallet rack, which will take 1 pallet, 1 pallet, 1 pallet, which is great, and other small things. And here I'm having a small rack for the small items that I use here. So the whole idea of putting that here was because when you're loading and unloading, you need all your equipment close. So it will clear all of this out, and when everything is put in place, it will make it a little bit smaller, the area, but I'll gain in height. Because at the moment, it's a bit of a willy-nilly mess. And I know a lot of this will go over the winter because I've got my frames to redo. I've got hives to put back together and rebuild them and get them ready to have bees put in them. I've got wax to melt down. I've got everything to assemble, all sorts of things. And I've got nukes, two pallets of brand new nukes there. They are going to be brought into operation. They've got to be sprayed up as well. But overall, it will help sort out this whole corner. And wherever I go in a beekeeping yard, so a beekeeper's yard, they always have their heavy stuff close to the entranceway. And it will mean I get spare racking. Not to mention when the mezzanine is built, above here, above this end, I will have tons and tons of storage as well. But initially, it's going to be better to get the racking for that one and that one, the two big areas, these two here, and that will mean that I've got brilliant access and storage at the same time. Because I've looked at, there's so many facets of building a honey house that I'm only just discovering, and so many cool things you can encompass into it as and when you get the money to do it. So getting on to money as well, I'm doing a round robin today. I mentioned my European grant 2 days ago. This happened. I'm now the proud owner of a European grant. It was a lot of work. I'm thrilled to be part of this project. What it is, it's a European fund for agricultural development in rural locations, basically helping you develop your buildings. You don't get it for nothing. You have to pay the money first. What happens is you can approach them with a project. You can say, okay, I've got this and this I want to do. Could I use that under the grant scheme? They then review that and say yes. You can't sign any quotes, but you can show them the quotes at the start. Then you go away, sign the quotes, and then they say, yeah, get on with the work, and the work gets done. Then you give them receipts, and then they'll pay you in time, as I kind of briefly explained in my previous video. So I paid the money out on the slab and the building, and now I've had my European grant back for that, which is, I have to say, a huge, huge relief, because in business, it's just business. That money that I spent out, and I pushed it a bit too far on what the money I had at the time, has now come back in, and that will keep me going most of the winter and enable me to get the floor finished and get the next part of the project rolling. So it's a roller coaster, but it means it doesn't mean I'm going to relax and bugger off on holiday all year. I really wish I could do that, but no, it gives me that opportunity to continue the process and bring this honey house up to what I want it to be. So there you go, feeder. Fond European Agricole pour the Development Rural. It basically is a really cool thing. Every country pays into it and we all get a bit back. You can slag off European Union as much as you want. Everywhere's got corruption. No matter what you are, you'd be better off being in it than not. And I'm really pleased that France is, because we get the help we need and there's something for everybody. If you're prepared to look, there's all sorts of grants out there. If you're in Europe, and it may be the same in other countries. The problem is the difficulty finding out about the grants, and that's the problem. You've got to really look. So I'm kind of really in a good place right now. I've got some money to get on with the next project. I've spent the time and that I invested wisely, and it's paid off. So now I'm in a little bit more secure. I've still got bills to pay like everybody. I've still got all that to pay out, but I'm in a little bit of a better place right now, and I've got honey to sell. Although it's not a lot, I've got some stocks from last year as well, which will keep me going until the next season. And during this next few months, I'm going to work my socks off to get all that finished, to get everything finished outside. We've also got fencing going in at the bottom of the garden, which will go around the whole perimeter of the rear building. And that will basically finish the whole thing off. And then I can get on with being a beekeeper and doing more better YouTube videos. So there's a big update for you on how everything's going. I'm really pleased. It's all going great. Lots to do, and want to get this roof on ASAP. So have a great weekend. Take care. Speak to you soon. Bye for now.